Welcome to Perceptor PTXL's online training tutorials. In this tutorial, we will find out how to create a label template using Perceptor PTXL. After logging in, select Label New from the top menu to access the Create Label Template function. You will find that by default, the printing has been suspended on the printer. To release the printer, you must be in either Create New Label Template or in Batch Run mode. This is to stop any unauthorized labels from being printed. Now that we are in Create New Label Template view, the printer is released and you will now be able to print labels. We will now take an image of a label from the printer and create a label vision template which can be used many times on different print runs. Use whichever software you prefer to design and print a label, such as Bartender, CodeSoft, or Nice Label. When the label has been printed, press the Get Image button. This will allow two things. It will retrieve the image of the printed label and also overstrike that label to ensure it does not enter into production. Press the Label tab on the right to set up the label settings and parameters. Select Label Size Check to reject any labels which do not match the size of this label template. The product ID can be used for duplicate checks. All labels which have been printed will be verified and checked against all previously printed labels with the same product ID and overstriked if they are a duplicate. Perceptor PTXL is capable of handling multiple labels in a single printed row. Depending on how many labels you are printing across the web, you can use Add Label Area to define what area constitutes a single label. Simply press Add a Label Area and drag and size the box to the correct area for each label. Repeat this for additional labels. Continue creating your label fields for each label and Perceptor PTXL will automatically handle, report and reconcile each label. For a single label application, there is no need to set a label area. Press the Fields tab to add and set up fields. Any barcodes on the label will automatically be detected and displayed. Select a barcode and give it a name. Enable duplicate checks if required and select the product reference from the drop-down. GS1 codes are automatically detected. Enter a minimum grade for the barcode. For data matrix, this is a number from 0 to 4, 0 being an F and 4.0 being an A grade. You can select a height check for the barcode, but this is only generally used for 1D barcodes to ensure the barcode has not been partially printed in height. Having completed setting up the codes on your label, press Add Text field to add an OCR inspection field. Drag the text field into position. Use the corners to resize the field so that it encompasses all the text you wish to read without overlapping or touching a field next to it. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Press and hold any area outside of the field to move the image in the field of view. Zoom all the way out to return to the default view. Enter a name for the field. Set the font details and orientation if the text is not horizontal left to right. Checking that the printed human readable text matches the barcoded information is an essential function of Perceptor PTXL. To do this, we enable Link to Field and select the field with which you wish to link. In this example, the data matrix has been detected as a GS1 code, so the list of identifiers have automatically been populated. Simply select the relevant identifier name for the text field to link with. Next, add the fielding. The fielding serves two purposes. The first allows PTXL to check that the text read matches the length and format that is expected. It is also necessary for the optical character recognition function. In this case, we have two uppercase letters followed by 4 numerical digits. So we select A to Z for the uppercase, enter 2 in the character length, and press Add to Fielding. Then we select 0 to 9 for the numerical digits, enter 4 in the character length, and press Add to Fielding. We can also add special characters and exact characters for characters that will always remain the same in the string. We can check that the fielding is correct by entering some sample text. Here you can copy the text from the data source and paste into the example text box. Press the Test button to check the fielding has been set up correctly. Next, we can add the sequential data. This allows PTXL to check that numerical increments every label as expected and overstrikes any misread numbers. In this case, we have 2 characters in the prefix, followed by 4 characters in the serial, followed by 0 characters in the suffix. So we enter 2 in the prefix, 4 in the serial, and 0 in the suffix. Also, our data increments by 1 step per label, so we enter 1 in the step. Once the fielding is set up correctly on this field, repeat the text field setup for all the text fields you would like to be read and verified. In the case of a GS1 date, we need to specify the print format. You can see some examples next to the date format box. In this case, it is DD, MM, YY. In addition to reading barcodes and text, PTXL can also inspect graphical images. To do this, we add a pattern match tool and drag the field into position the same way we would for a text field. We then give the tool a name and a minimum correlation score, with 1 being 100% match. Typically, we'd recommend a value of 0.90 or 0.95 to allow for print variation. Perceptor PTXL is capable of detecting blemishes on labels. Blemish inspection allows you to detect printed defects. Using the blemish inspection tool, you can define the specific area of the label that you wish to inspect, from the whole label to just an individual area. Within the one label vision template design, you can have multiple blemish inspections on the same label. A word of caution: unless it is absolutely necessary, do not set the blemish area tight up against the edges of the label. If you set the blemish area in from the edge, then any movement of the label and the contrast of the backing paper will not impact the blemish inspection and cause unnecessary failures. If you need to set the blemish detection to the whole label, including the edges, then you will need to mask the edges to avoid the contrast of the backing paper being picked up as a blemish. To add and define your blemish area, simply click on Add Blemish Check and drag the box onto the image. Select the corners and position the blemish inspection over the area required, noting that the larger the area, the longer the processing time will take for each label. Note, if you wish to apply blemish inspection to an entire label whilst using multi-label, then you must make sure that the blemish area is inside the defined label area. If your area of blemish inspection has no printed information within this area, then there is no need for you to create an edit mask. Simply give the blemish inspection a name and continue on with the design of your template. However, if there is printed information within your blemish area, then you will need to create an edit mask by selecting the blemish area and then clicking on the Edit Mask middle icon in the top right-hand corner. You will see that your region of interest turns white. You are now able to add in your mask, which are areas that are excluded from the blemish inspection. This is necessary, otherwise any printed information will cause the blemish inspection to fail every time. Using the Auto Mask wand tool on the left of the blemish area, you will see that the system automatically selects all predefined codes, OCR and pattern match fields, along with any printed text and graphics. The top pair of icons highlighted on the left here are the shape tools with the option of either a paintbrush or a box. You can increase or reduce the thickness of the paintbrush by using the plus and minus signs, and you simply define the box area by holding down the left key of your mouse and releasing when ready. The lower pair of icons are the Erase Mask and Add Mask function buttons. First you select either the paintbrush or the box, and then select either one of the Erase Mask or Add Mask icons. As you will see, one erases and one adds. You can identify which one has been selected by the white background around the icon. Having defined your mask areas, you have completed setting up your blemish inspection using the default threshold inspections. If you are confident, you can alter these default values by clicking on the Advanced checkbox, which when selected reveals the default settings for the minimum detectable area, the individual blemish area, the total blemish area, and the image scale. If you wish to change any of these settings, you can do so here. Please refer to the information to the right of the screen to determine the meaning of each of these, or check out our website for a Tech Insight document on blemish detection. Now all that's left is to give the label template a name and press Save to commit it to the database. Don't worry if you make a mistake, you can easily edit a label template, which will be covered in another tutorial. Thank you for listening. We hope you found this tutorial useful and you enjoy using Perceptor PTXL.